Hello everybody, and welcome back. This week we will be reading Chapter 12. We ended last week's Chapter 11 with Monroe and Veeralainen escaping from the very hot sun. But Miss Veeralainen was shot. How will this all play out? Let's keep reading and find out. Chapter 12. Fighting for Life. Monroe thought, from the sound of Lapolainen's voice, that he was on the floor above. Veeralainen had been hit in the leg. The shot had gone straight through. Monroe took out his handkerchief and tied it round her leg. Then he pulled her further behind the boxes. "Stay here," he said quietly to her. "He can't see you from where he is. I'm going to look for him." Monroe moved around the boxes, keeping his head down and trying to get to the bottom of the stairs. Lapolainen knew that Monroe did not have a gun. He would be feeling good about that. But Lapolainen was a businessman and a politician. He was probably not a gunman himself. Guns are dangerous, and Monroe knew a lot of different ways of taking guns away from people. Monroe reached the bottom of the stairs and looked up. Lapolainen was not there. Looking along the factory floor, Monroe saw there were other stairs going up in different parts of the factory. Lapolainen might have come down one of these. He might already be on the ground floor looking for Monroe, with his gun. Monroe moved round carefully and quietly. Suddenly he heard a sound behind him. He turned round quickly. Lapolainen was standing there, a gun in his hand. He smiled. "You have begun to make me rather angry," he said. "Now you can show me where you have put Miss Veeralainen, and then I can send you both on your way." He waved his gun in the direction of the front of the factory. Monroe turned his back on Lapolainen and started walking. He walked slowly, and he could hear Lapolainen following behind him. He wanted Lapolainen to push the gun into his back so that he would know where it was. He walked even more slowly. Lapolainen came right up behind him, and Monroe felt the hard metal press against him. Immediately, Monroe's hand flew up behind his back, knocking the gun upwards. As soon as he hit the gun, Monroe started to turn. Reaching up with both hands, fired a shot, but it went into the air away from Monroe. The two men fought. Monroe was using both hands to hold the gun and to try and pull it away. Lapolainen was holding on with one hand and using the other to reach for Monroe's face and eyes. Monroe realized he was going to have to let go. He was in danger of Lapolainen seriously hurting his eyes. Suddenly Monroe let go of the gun, put a hand on each of Lappalainen's shoulders, and crashed his head into Lappalainen's nose. The Finn screamed, and the gun fell to the floor. His face was now red, and blood was coming from his nose. Monroe watched him carefully. Being angry would make Lappalainen stronger, but it would also make him careless. Suddenly he ran at Monroe, screaming like an animal, throwing his fists at him. Monroe stepped easily to one side and hit him on the side of the head. As Lappalainen went down on the floor, Monroe picked up the gun and turned towards him. Lappalainen was sitting where he had fallen with his back against one of the boxes. In one hand was a metal bottle. With the other hand he was taking the top off the bottle. Monroe stood and watched him. "Well, it seems to be over," he said, looking up at Monroe. "I don't really like the thought of spending time in prison, you know. And I don't like the thought of not being president either. So it's really quite useful that my company has been so good at making poisons." "No!" shouted Monroe, but he could do nothing. Lappalainen held up the bottle towards Monroe and then drank what was inside. Monroe watched as Lappalainen's face changed color. The Finn reached up to his throat, and a strange noise came out of his mouth. Then his body shook once, and he stopped moving. Well, that was a rather shocking ending to this stage of Ian Monroe's story in Finland. Will he be able to uncover what's been happening in Lahti? What's next for Ian Monroe and Sherpa Virolainen? They should be able to get out of the factory now, but where will they go? We will find out next week in Chapter 13. Thank you everybody for watching. Please stay safe, keep warm, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.